What's happening, guys? Great idea. Back with another video, back with another vlog. Thank you for clicking on the video, liking and subscribing. That will help me in the algorithm. But yeah, nice to see your beautiful faces. Today we're talking about the Canon RF mount, what lenses are currently out, what lenses we'd like to see in the future, and if it's worth upgrading to create those beautiful shots. What's happening, guys? So yes, the RF mount. It's the new mount for the Canon system, the new mirrorless system. It used to be EF, now it's RF. For me, it's one of the biggest selling points to upgrading to the mirrorless system. It's one of the things that's actually keeping me within the Canon ecosystem. I have actually looked at going over to Sony. I've invested so much in the glass, which actually really performs as I would like it to perform. And I've been really lucky getting a few items secondhand. The RF mount glass is really incredible. I can't sing its praises high enough. And today I just want to talk about my favorite picks about the glass I've bought so far and what glass I would like to be able to purchase in the future. So this video is totally not scripted. I want this to be a general discussion on the different RF glass that I've purchased so far. If you want a full review of each of these lenses, I've yet to do that. If that's something you're interested in, if you want to know in depth on any of these lenses, do send me a message in those comments down below, and I'll do my best to show you a bit more real world experience of these lenses. But so far I've invested in 5 different RF glass, and I don't regret all of them. There is one I regret, but the rest are pretty solid. So here we go. I'm going to go down the line from my least excited to most excited. So the first one is the RF 50mm 1.8 STM lens, compact and lightweight. So this is the smallest of the bunch and it's the cheapest on Amazon at the moment. It's literally going for £196 from £219. I think I even picked this up at like 150. I don't know. I'm sure it goes on sale very often. There we go. You get a little view of it there. It literally is tiny, which is literally the reason I picked up this lens, because I'm not a big fan of 50mm. I think 50mm is that awkward focal length between 85, which is very much a candid lens, and 35, which is an action lens getting in closer. 50mm very often is that kind of distance where someone's aware of you taking a photo of them, but they're not quite sure if they should be looking in your direction. Although it's an all-rounder lens and you can shoot everything with it, it takes a bit of skill and practice to understand how to use a 50mm properly. Do bear with me as well. We're here in the UK. We're having a heat wave at the moment. 30 degrees is not something I'm used to. So if I'm sweating profusely throughout this video, just don't judge me on it, okay? But anyway, getting back to the lens. This 50mm lens, it's a nice, quick, easy one to throw in the bag. And if you're needing that kind of 1.8 bokeh look, but you're worried if your lens is going to get damaged, this is my go-to. The main issue I have with this lens is the autofocus. It is actually really quite slow. Another thing to note, when you're trying to control focus with this, you have to go into your settings. I'm not going to remember the actual setting off the top of my head. The main issue I have with this lens is, as standard, when you're using the control ring to change your focus, it actually changes the amount it will change the focus due to the speed in which you actually rotate it. So if you go fast one way and slow the other way, you won't land in the same place. Inside the camera settings for the control ring, you need to change that so it will only change it due to the rotation distance on the actual lens. I had a huge problem with that to begin with, so at least that got fixed with the settings. But yeah, it's a quick and easy one. I use this for nightclubs. The autofocus is a pain, but when you need that kind of look and you don't want to risk your £2,000 lens, like I say, £190 on Amazon at the moment. Yeah, it's a quick and easy one. I recommend it. I do recommend it. If you don't have 50mm, £190 is easy to get into that, as opposed to spending a lot more. Yeah, if you can afford the nice RF 50mm, I would always recommend that. Okay, so that's the first one. First one down. The second one is the Canon 15 to 35 RF 2.8 lens. This one's got image stabilization built into the actual lens as well. So if you're going for a video, handheld, or I wouldn't really use stabilization in the lens when you're on gimbal, but handheld in a pinch, that's really helpful. I had the original 1635 EF, and it was perfect for getting those wide shots, those crowd shots. If you're shooting decor at a wedding, then great. But it was always a bit soft. So I've leapfrogged from the 1635 Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. But basically, I went straight to the RF. This retails at, it's going to be pricey. Let me have a look. So this retails currently on Amazon for £1,700. So it's over £1,000 for this wide lens. I would recommend it if you have the money. I was lucky enough to pick this in pretty much a brand new condition secondhand off a friend. I'm happy I've got it. Would I go out my way to buy a top end glass at the 1535 range? Probably not. If you can get it for around £1,000 secondhand, then I would say totally go for it. I'm really, really happy I got it. I do use it for those establishing shots on a wedding, the decor shots, even some dramatic fine art kind of shots when you need that extra wideness. It's nice to have. It will help you in a pinch if there's not much room. Party shots as well at a wedding, but it's not the main lens. 1,700, it's a bit pricey, but it is sharper. It is sharper than all the predecessors over on the EF mount. The main big thing that I was hoping this would resolve is the vignetting at 2.8. But even though it's a lot sharper than the EF, the vignetting is very much still there. There we go. I always put my little rubber band on it. That is the 1535 lens there. Boom. I love it. It's not my favorite. Okay, so next one is the 2470. Now, I love 2470. It is the go-to safety lens. I had the original EF 2470 and upgraded to the 2470 Mark II EF, which was a huge improvement. So when I saw this discounted, I totally jumped on it. Let's find out how much this one cost. So the RF 2470 is just over that £2,000 mark, £2,000 for the 2470. Now, Canon RF, they make the 28 to 70 f2, which would be beautiful. That's going to be a lot more expensive. I think that's closer to the £3,000 mark. I haven't Googled it. Don't quote me on that. But I'm in an R in if this was even worth the upgrade from the 2470 Mark II. I think if you've already got the EF 2470 Mark II, you're in a good shape anyway. However, if you can afford the upgrade, it is still worth it. This lens is so much sharp. I would compare this to the sharpness of the EF 70 to 200. I think you'll be very happy with the sharpness of this. One of the other big bonuses is the built-in image stabilization. I've used the 24-105 in the past. EF, even nowadays on the adapter, because of that stabilization to be able to do handheld video. And now I've got stabilization in a 2.8 lens. If I'm able and I have the time, I will very much jump on this to get those video shots. But that's the 2470 RF. It's about the same size, to be honest. The 1535 as well as the 2470. I'm holding them upside down. So they're a very similar size there. There you go. I do love both of these lenses. I would still, if I was to go between the two, I'd probably say the 2470 is the one to go for. Okay, now we're getting on to the really smexy lenses. These are my two beautiful favorite lenses. We have the RF 85mm 1.2 as well as the RF 50mm 1.2. These are both beautiful lenses. These are crazy sharp for 1.2, as well as getting that extra light acquisition. I'll probably be the first person to say, if you want that look, you don't need to spend the extra money to get in the 1.2. You can get that look with like a 1.4 glass. However, if you do have that extra money, these lenses will be your cheat. I call them my cheat lenses because they make everything look good. They're super sharp. What the main benefit for me with these two lenses is the light acquisition. If I'm shooting candids with the 85, the background's going to be blurred. I can shoot in next to no light. If I'm shooting with the 50mm, I don't need any light. I can literally use the light from a mobile phone, light from a window at a party, anything like that. The 50mm, if you're in a tough situation, will save your life. The 1.2 Canon is amazing. So again, 85 is amazing. It's my go-to lens for couple shoots. It will really create those straight lines and that bokeh for you. Not as much as the 135, but yeah, 85 is brilliant. Now, with 50mm, like I said, I've always had a love-hate relationship with 50 because it's that awkward distance in between. If you're going to get a 50mm, you got to get the best 50mm. So 1.2 50mm on the RF. Look at this one. This is my favorite lens. It is absolutely beautiful. The images that come out of this forever impress myself and my clients. This is on my camera, such a high percentage of the actual day. On terms of a wedding, it literally lives on my second body. Whereas although the images I'd probably prefer out the 85, the 85 only lives on my camera probably 10% of the actual wedding day, whereas the 50mm will live on it literally for like 70% of the actual wedding. So if you're investing money, I would say go for the 50 first. And if you really have the money, or if you're able to get a deep sale on the 85 1.2, you're not going to be disappointed. Those are my recommendations. 85, 50, beautiful lenses. So yeah, that's what I've got in terms of the RF glass. I would be interested in the 28 to 70 f2. However, I'm unsure if I could survive without that extra 24mm, that extra wide end on the actual lens. That being said, yeah, it would be an incredible lens, all day lens that would probably live on your camera and you'll find a way of making it work. I would just be worried if the 15 to 35 would be able to fulfill that role. I think that 24mm is important. On top of that, you got the 70 to 200. I've recently actually used the 70 to 200 RF on a wedding. I borrowed it off a friend. And yes, it was, I do believe it's sharper than the EF. However, because of the zoom ring being at the end, as opposed to the multifunction ring being at the end, the balance on that lens is just completely off. I believe they're doing a Mark II version where the zoom is internal. I don't mind the space. I can buy a bigger bag if I need to carry more equipment. I'm one of those guys that will happily take extra bags to make sure that I have all the gear that I need. And yeah, I'm going to literally wait for the Mark II on the 70 to 200. So really, I am looking forward to investing more into RF glass. I probably will end up getting the 28 to 70 f2 when I get my hands on my R5 Mark II, which I have pre-ordered. So yeah, we'll see. But it's all exciting glass. I love lenses. I can't help myself. I need to experiment with new lenses to see what it can get me. Can't wait for them to bring out more lenses. The 35mm 1.4 is out. It's supposedly massive, but I think I really do want that 1.2. Can you imagine how big the glass is going to be on a 35mm or 1.2 RF? If you guys have invested in the Canon RF system, tell me what your favorite lens is in those comments down below. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. The rest of the video is going to be behind the scenes of the jobs we've done in the past week. I'm going to monologue, and I hope you guys enjoy that. Get in contact. Let's have a discussion in those comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Hello and welcome back to the voiceover section of the video. This is from the Summertime Live. You can see that on the screens there. And it's of Nile Rodgers and Sheck. I don't know. Excuse my ignorance on this music, but apparently he's been worked with lots and lots of different musicians. But as you can see, this is the early stages of the festival. People are arriving, slowly getting busier. And the sun was out. It was a really hot day. It was a 6-hour shift from start to finish, capturing the vibes. It was a slightly older festival. People were arriving, sitting down. Oh, and this chap on the left, yeah, I work with him in Coventry. It's a small world. He's the sound tech over in the Empire. So we bumped into each other and said a quick hello. Excuse me, because I'm really rubbish at names. I forget people's names a lot. But so
I'm looking at you, and I know you are not going to let me down tonight. Yes, she's shaking her head. Absolutely not. My brother there in the black hat. What happened to my homeboy?
And this is a wedding. I jumped on. Excuse me, with these weddings doing behind the scenes, I have to be very careful not to show any GDPR, any names of the bride and grooms or anything like that. But this is the venue setting up. This is a beautiful venue, which is why I want to show this. This is them setting up the stage, how it looks like beforehand. And the crazy tiered cakes. Yeah, not all tiers are real very often, and I'm surprised the bride and grooms very often get the correct tier to be cutting. So there's Ryan, There's the rest of the crew. There's the big boss man as well, getting ready. We had quite a big team on this day. 2 photographers and 4 videographers. But yeah, with this venue, I would heavily agree. There's a lot of guests. So yeah. And this is a quick little bit of us doing a couple shoot, flying a bit of the drone. I think that's the DJI Mini 4. Are we ready? Drone. And that's the stage looking a bit more set up. And the room looking finished and beautiful with the fairy lights on. So, yeah, no complaints. This chap's picking his nose. No worries. Yeah, it looks good, though. I always say Asian weddings are expensive weddings done cheaply, but this one looks like it's cost a pretty penny to make it look nice. So, yeah. There is a bit of clouds. Get a bit of Ryan in there as well. Yeah. So I love my stage setups. I love making sure my shots are straight. Oh, this is Akash. He's a good lad. Yeah, get Akash in the video. And this is from a different wedding. There we go. End of a wedding day. We are with Binu and Ruby. These are the top boys in the wedding industry. It's been a long day. The wedding is over. They're all packing up. This is the only thing I've vlogged today. But yeah, party time. We're going to get these boys on the vlog and on the podcast soon. It'll be fun. Peace. Hey, and this is my man Miraz. We love Miraz. He's a good lad. So he gave us permission to actually shoot some behind the scenes footage of him working on this day. He said it's cool because he's my homeboy. But yeah, this is getting the groom ready, getting the watch shots. That's his branding. That's his company branding on the back there. But these Sony cameras, man, this is why I don't like Sony cameras. You can't see what's going on the back of the screen. But yeah, this is a Miraz special, hyping up the lads, getting a group shot, making the lads look cool. And it's always worth showing 1 or 2 shots to the family because they get hyped. They trust you. He's on the Sony
A7S3, obviously. Not the FX3 because, you know, that's only if you lose it.
FX3 is good.
It's the same camera, man.
Is it actually? Okay,
I'm kidding, okay.
I don't know, Sony.
Cut that out.
Yeah, we're doing an Asian wedding in Birmingham. It's Miraz's job today. Check him out. Him and his wife, they're a team. Here we go. That's what it is. I'll link in the description. But yeah, we're doing a bit of vlogging today behind the scenes and we're going to show you how we do things. Yeah, man. Sunny, really sunny. It was actually really hot, but luckily the venue had air conditioning, so bonus. So this is another setup from a different wedding, obviously. I do like the shiny, the gold, the neutral colours.
It's always decent.
Always decent, yeah.
See that sliding off there?
Yeah, and we were running the Hollyland headsets as well. So for entrances, we could all just keep in contact and keep communicating all the way through.
Okay, guys, when I count down, I want you to celebrate like you scored a goal. Okay? Yeah? Like you scored a goal, okay?
It's another Miraz special. Getting people involved, getting them hyped. This will be nice. Watch this. Eventually. This will be a trend one day. This will be a trend. It's a trendsetter.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, man. No, this couple was amazing this day. They really appreciated us, and we got some wicked shots for them. Their film's gonna look absolutely insane. And that's Miraz's wife, Sonia, the boss of the company, the big boss, most chilled out boss, most awesome boss. We're just chatting rubbish on the headsets, which is great. We can keep in communication. We can tell each other what's going on. This is the towel. They're about to share the food with the bride and groom. Everyone comes around and feeds the bride and groom. It's a tradition. It's one of those things. So there he is, the groom eating. Nom, nom, nom. Gets everyone involved.
So this little baby here, I have to tell you, it's basically a G Master, but at a budget price. Because you see, Sony doesn't actually make a 16mm, and it's 16:1.8 autofocus, and it's reactive linear. I butchered that, but
Is that prime?
yeah,
It's prime, that's 16 prime.
16 prime.
Nice.
You can get some beautiful shots out of it.
Let me see this.
Yeah, the little screen. So when you're
What is it telling you there?
the distance is focusing. Yeah.
Oh, right. every camera. I don't need that information, but every camera needs to have that information from now on. Let me see the back. Oh, raw man, that looks nice.
And it's straight. You don't get any deformation.
That's impressive, man. I thought that was going to be like a non-autofocus lens, but
this is the part of the day where we start filming photos.
Yeah, pretty much. Filming people standing still.
Get those filming those Asian work.
But we got the two soft boxes. Shoot through umbrellas going on, making it look beautiful. And yeah, this is the couple shoot. You got to do a twirl. Just putting on the lens.
Getting out of the weapon.
Yeah. Oh, the wide lens.
Yeah. I really want to show off the building.
That's a good way. You got a nice big wide lens to show off the building in the background. It's a bonus.
Rest of it's okay. By the way, this lens does some funky stuff, you know.
Yeah? Like what?
It does funky stuff like not communicate.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a filter.
Not native.
Well, it's a filter as well. So you have to take it off once it's there.
It's got a character.
Yeah, well, you know, it's supposed to be AGMS, but it's not AGMS. So.
And this is my 600 watt. We're competing with midday sunlight. Well, it wasn't even midday, it was past midday, but still very, very hot and very, very bright. Got some wicked shots. Maybe I can show one at the end. But this is a twirl, beautiful twirl action, all shot in slow-mo. And you got to show off to the client. They love it. They had a great day. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.